some suggestions as to how to win your case. Before filing a case, everyone estimates as to how long it will take to resolve court cases in India, as sometimes they drag for years, as the pendency of cases with Indian courts is very high, and a quick litigation process is still in nascent stage here in India. Also, there are various other factors that may lead to long pendency of cases. Sometimes even the advocates can't predict as to how much time it will take to resolve, as there are various factors involved. Broadly speaking, legal work where you need to consult with an advocate can be divided into two categories: transaction related and litigation related. Now, here by case we mean litigation related problem. Litigation is the actual legal or court process where parties argue their cases against each other in our court system according to jurisdiction, whether territorial or pecuniary. Parties in any case involved are called litigants. Each party assembles its argument supported by findings and facts, the discovery process, and other court procedures to build their case before trying it in front of a judge. Transaction related work are mostly done by corporate lawyers, where their work includes in mergers and acquisitions, drafting contracts, agreements, conveyances, provide legal advice on investments, and various kinds of other work, mainly in corporate law sector. Mostly in all litigation cases, except petty cases, it takes around an average 4 to 5 years to solve in a case. The time calculated can never be accurate while deciding a case in Indian courts. Now, even courts are going modern in technology, like e-filing, mobile apps for litigants, pilot summary courts for summary procedure, like recovery of money summary proceedings. The general belief that by filing a recovery suit against a debtor will go on for years at large is not so, if one knows the real scope of Order 37 of the Civil Procedure Code, 1908. The law requires a person to be vigilant about his rights. Now, winning a case every time doesn't mean that thrashing your opponent's case by destroying evidence or by any other unlawful means. I will provide you some ways by means of which you will be able to predict in situations like when to fight a case and when to compromise or settle a case with the other party through your advocate. No other profession probably demands persuasion than the legal profession. An advocate has to express his client's case most meritoriously by way of spoken or written words. Legal knowledge and insight to translate that knowledge into words and interpretation are the advocate's greatest assets. List of suggestions. Number 1. Know your opponent and analyze your case. If you are in litigation, then you need to know your opposite party. Put yourself in his shoes to understand him better. Know what evidences he can gather or currently has. Can he make witnesses hostile? What is the settled position of law in your case type? Which advocate he appoints? Who is the judge? Will the opponent be ready to settle? What's your advocate views on settlement? And many other questions and analysis needs to be answered in any case. Number 2. When settlement is a right option for you. Sometimes it is very often better for advocates also to settle the matter than by stretching it too long. But it can only help in legal problems which involve compromise with the other side and choose an advocate which possesses the qualities needed in conciliation and negotiation. There are cases that are likely to drag on endlessly and also likely to prove very cumbersome. If you are filing application for damages in civil court, you may have many obstacles in the way. The truth is that, barring a few cases, speedy adjudication followed by an award is rarely to achieve. If both parties agree to settle, then prepare a MOU in that effect and present an application before the court to withdraw the suit on the account of out-of-court settlement and present the settlement consideration to the court for satisfaction and to have judicial backing for securing the settlement consideration. Number 3, be proactive. Being proactive might even on occasions require the advocate to be a detective to collect the evidences that supports your case and discredits the opponent's case through lawful means. Detective agencies do exist, but they are few in number. In every case, there may be situations that may require you to do some investigations of your own. Sometimes a case has other aspects that you need to consider. You need to think for yourself. Let's say someone has cheated you and you file a case against him. Thereafter, you heard from someone that your opponent also cheated someone else similarly. Now, here you got to know the details of that man who was cheated earlier, and if he had also filed a case against him, or there are other cases pending against your opponent in similar cases, then it's a strong evidence for you to show to the court that your opponent is a habitual offender and has cheated others also. The Right to Information Act, herein referred to as RTI, can be very beneficial. This new law is an act for setting out the practical regime of right to information for citizens to secure access to information under the control of public authorities. An advocate must know the public authorities where the public records of its clients are lying in dust, so that the advocate may apply for RTI for quick response and to get the evidences fast. Number 4, always state true facts to your advocate. State all the facts. Someone may not know which facts are important and which are not important in a case. Leave that decision to your advocate and provide him all the facts that could be relevant. Even sometimes irrelevant facts discloses some important fact which may be in your favor and supports your case and discredits the opponent. Hiding or suppressing material facts can harm your case very badly, as the opposite party will bring to the court that you are hiding or suppressing material facts and your case should be dismissed. So, if you don't want to have this situation, then positively state true facts to your advocate in litigation. Number 5, have all the paperwork. If anyone wants to file a case against anyone, it is very important to have all the paperwork with you. Courts believe in physical proof and not just oral declaration. It's very important for an advocate to have all the paperwork in a case to win with evidences in hand. Number 6, appoint a good and honest advocate or firm. An advocate has to express his client's case most meritoriously by way of spoken or written words. Legal knowledge and insight to translate that knowledge into words and interpretations are the advocate's greatest assets. The essence of good advocacy is to know the facts of the case and then apply the law to those facts. Legal acumen and client's relation is very important. In some cases, only after understanding the reason behind the advocate's decision. As an advocate, it's your duty to bring to the attention of the court a case already decided on the point being argued. An advocate may then distinguish your case from the decided case, but an advocate must cite it, but never cite an overruled case. Number 7. Crafting your legal strategy. An advocate must choose between the appropriate legal decision in litigation for its client as many times. Any legal problem has 2 to 3 remedies by court. Like in some case wherein a vendor has owned a substantial amount of money by a company, and if that too is not dishonored by a negotiable instrument, then the option of fast track section 138 proceedings cannot be availed. So, the usual civil suit may take its own sweet time for a verdict. Now, there may be some other options as per the facts and circumstances of the case. The vendor and his advocate may file for a winding up or insolvency proceeding if the requirements under the winding up or insolvency proceedings are fulfilled. Viewing alternatives for your client's case may prove beneficial to client as well as for an advocate's reputation.